Okay, I actually don't want to hold you guys too long, but essentially today what we're going to be reacting to is Eclipse's review on Jujutsu Infinite. And I've been looking forward to seeing this for a while because I've held my reservations on how I feel about Jujutsu Infinite for a while, and I do know what the game entails. So I kind of knew his review, if he ended up checking out this game, would be a little bit interesting. So we're going to be reacting to that on stream with everyone else. Again, this video is going to be super long. I apologize. Get your popcorn, and I love you guys, man. I appreciate every single one of you guys that actually supports me. None of the haters. We don't like the haters. Let's get straight into this.
Jujutsu Infinite, or as I'll be referring to it for the rest of the video, Jujutsu Fruit. Because that's what this is. This is effectively Blox Fruit, but the Jujutsu Kaisen edition. And normally this wouldn't bother me that much because, you know, generally speaking, people love putting out Blox Fruit types games because it's almost as if Blox Fruit is the most popular goddamn game on the entire platform. So it would make perfect sense for your average money-hungry developer to just go, hey, I can do that too, but on the most popular current anime property, cash in and make a whole bunch of money. The problem this time around, and the reason that I'm going to be extra critical, is because the people who made this are the same people behind Titan Warfare, one of my favorite games on the whole platform.
Oh,
and
yeah, these
any
guys
faith
did
that
make
I
Titan
ever
Warfare
had in them
then,
from that game has been chucked out the window and shit on, because this is an embarrassment. A 400,000 player embarrassment that's going to make them a shitload of money, and that's why they did it, but it is an embarrassment from a moral perspective and from a game design and development perspective. This game is proof that after Titan Warfare didn't do as well as they'd hoped, they gave up and caved to every possible negative trend on Roblox, and it's also proof that that just works, which is depressing. I mean, we already all knew this, but it's just such an extra kick in the balls when you see someone who made something so unique and special cash in and make this piece of shit. Anyways, let's start from the top, shall we? Jujutsu Infinite starts with a tutorial that is where all the budget went. Literally all of the budget went to the tutorial. And in fairness, you know, I am always saying, hey, hook your players early, so I guess this is better than 99% of the games where right off the bat it says, oh hey, go grind 20 hours. This one says, hey, here's what you can do after grinding for 20 hours. Now, in fairness, I don't want to be negative the whole time, so I can say that the intro cinematic is unlike basically anything I've seen. It's really, really impressive, really, really well made, and the people behind it did a really good job. Unfortunately, it is just that, a barely interactive cinematic to give you the opening of the game for a storyline that probably doesn't lead anywhere, and that's a bit of a spoiler. No, I didn't get to max level 240. Of fucking course I didn't. That would take forever, and this game sucks, so I'm not going to do that. Regardless, the tutorial concludes, and we get our first and honestly what should be the immediate red flag that makes any sane person turn the game off right there. Innate talents. So effectively, innate talents are abilities that you can unlock, and the way you unlock them is gambling.
You know what would make this video even more funny? Is if Eclipse played Shindo Life 2 to kind of understand that this was taken directly from another game, and if he actually... Anyways, let me just continue.
Gambling, yay! Yes, Roblox. We love Roblox gambling. Oh, this is the best day ever. Seriously, guys, the only way that you get innate abilities is to gamble.
Let's go gambling.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
And you know what's the worst part about this whole gambling thing is I've heard so many people say, hey Eclipse, the gambling isn't that bad because you can redeem codes in order to get a whole bunch of spins and get the kind of things you want. And therefore the gambling isn't that bad. Well, let me ask you this. Number one, if you can do things to bypass the gambling, then why the fuck didn't the developers just make interesting ways to unlock stuff instead of locking everything behind a goddamn gambling slot machine? And then number two, okay, so what happens to the people who don't redeem the codes? Or when there are no codes left to redeem because they're all expired? And so now you have all these people who can't just do what you did, and they have to manually grind all of these spins.
That's true.
Oh, fantastic.
They do expire really quick.
That's great, because let's just lock this main pillar of progression behind complete random arbitrary luck that you have absolutely no control over the whole time. And listen, I get it. I know RNG is a part of these games, and I'm not saying that you can't have RNG in your game, but you can't say you're not trying to manipulate people and have gambling in the game when you have the whole slot machine skipping through all of the different things that you can see you're gonna get, and especially not when you can pay for the ability to skip the fucking slot machine part and just tell you what you got. Anyways, as for me, I rolled once on both of my innate slots, and oh, hang on a minute. Both of my innate slots, but there are more slots here. That can't be good, but let's not worry about that right now. Anyways, I rolled object manipulation and clones or something, both of which are pretty horrendous. But whatever, I'm not gonna sit here and gamble all day. I wanna play the friggin' game, so let's jump into it. What follows is a tutorial for a lot, if not all, of the systems in the game. And once again, on a positive front, the tutorial in this game is extremely in-depth. It teaches you pretty much everything you would ever need to know. It's not a wiki game, and if you need to know how to play the game, the tutorial is gonna tell you just about everything you need to know. I don't think there was a point later on that I was ever asking myself what I needed to do or the things that I needed to do to accomplish said tasks, how to level up, how to get skills, you know, all the sort of things that a lot of people may take for granted on the Roblox platform, but anyone who's new to the genre is gonna have no idea what's going on, and I think the tutorial is very helpful for those people, as well as for some of the unique systems that the game has that it lets you know how they work. During the tutorial, the game teaches you about the sort of pillars of the game, as well as leveling up and the way that progression works. And the way that progression works is fucking horrible. It is beyond horrible. It's Blox Fruit, and this is why everyone's calling this goddamn game Jujutsu Fruit. Because that's exactly what the progression is. The progression in this game is nothing better than just fucking Blox Fruit. In fact, in a lot of ways, I would say it's even worse than Blox Fruit. And that pisses me the hell off. Because Blox Fruit should not be the thing that we're comparing things against. And under no circumstances should a game ever be compared against Blox Fruit and lose. That shouldn't happen. And yet here we are. That's exactly what happens. Okay, so how does progression work? Well, you walk into this little circle here, and it pulls up 3 different missions of varying difficulties. 1, 2, or 3 stars, I believe. Maybe it's up to 4. Can't remember, don't care. When you pick one of those missions, you can press J to teleport straight to the mission objective. And I would say that this is a good thing. And I've seen some people citing this as a good thing. They would tell me directly, and they've probably already typed it, Eclipse, the fact that you can just teleport right there instead of having to walk back and forth over and over again is a good thing. And I would counter that by saying, well, if the thing involves you covering massive distances over and over and over again to do menial, mindless tasks that you don't have any thought process in doing, then you never even needed this system to begin with because your progression by itself is fucking garbage. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, you pick one of the missions on the mission board, then you press J, and it Fortnite drops you directly on top of your mission objective. You go down there, you do it, and once you're completed, you press J again, it teleports you back to the hub, you walk into the little circle again, you get another mission, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It's this thing the whole fucking time? It is this the entire time. Are you kidding me? And it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. First of all, let's talk about chests. So, when you complete a mission, it'll fill this little bar. Depending on the difficulty, it'll fill the bar more or less. So if you do a harder mission, it'll fill the bar more. Now, after the bar is completely filled, you get a whole bunch of different chests that swirl around your character. Ooh, look how cool that is. Oh, that's badass. Yeah. Whoever put this together has to pat themselves on the back because what the fuck were they thinking? This chest system may look cool, but from a gameplay perspective, it's obnoxious as shit. And here's why. Number 1, you have to constantly spin your camera around to find the fucking chests as they rotate around your character, instead of it just opening the damn chest when you get it. It's not like you can wait to open the chest.
Okay, no, this part is low-key nitpicking. Like, you can honestly just walk backwards, like walk out of the mission circle and hold E. Just hold E. Just hold E and it opens the chest. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Just hold E, bro. Like, actually, like, nobody has struggled. The music does make it funnier. Nobody has struggled opening the chest, bro. This part's nitpicking. This is definitely nitpicking.
Yes, because it's gonna keep fucking circling around your character. So you gotta open them. Number 2, 80% of the stuff in these chests are completely worthless. There's a whole bunch of things about like stat buffs and 15% extra this, 14% extra that, and 90% of it doesn't mean anything.
Even when you have 43% luck increase, you still get commons. So like, GG.
Because as I'll say in a minute, the game is so trivial that if you need the help of any sort of stat buff, what the fuck are you doing? You suck ass. You are awful at video games and should stop playing video games. Number 3, when you do open up the chest, there's a nice button right there that they had the generosity of giving you. It says flip all. So I don't need to click every single individual little thing in order to flip all of the stupid items I get, because of course it can't just show you what you get. You need to flip all of the cards because that's what all the gambling games do in order to get you hooked, you know? It builds anticipation. Ooh, we went to game design school. Oh yeah, we did. Except for, oh wait, the flip all button doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. How does it not work? So if you press flip all, it doesn't flip all the cards. And if you press flip all again, if you have different rarities of cards, it once again doesn't flip all the cards. Which means that if you have 4 different rarities of cards, you're gonna have to hit this 5 or 6 times in order to flip all of the cards.
Okay, he cooked. No. That actually makes sense. Like, that makes sense. Is it nitpicking? No, it's nitpicking. He's just tired of Roblox. No, deadass Sage. He's nitpicking. But he's actually kind of right. Like, you have to click... you have to click flip all multiple times if you have different rarities in order for it to flip. But, like, he's nitpicking, bro. He's nitpicking. He's not wrong, but that's... I've never seen nitpicking to a T until I've heard that point. Oh my gosh, bro.
Why?
It doesn't flip all though.
Just
He's actually
flip
right.
all the cards when you push the flip all button. This game is a goddamn anomaly. That makes no sense. So it's basically seemingly directly designed to just waste your time.
What?
But it somehow gets worse. And this is really jumping ahead of ourselves. But despite the fact that you get chests in this little area where, you know, there's not really a whole lot going on, while you get later on in the game, you can get chests that are in areas of the game where there's stuff attacking you. And guess what? You would just think at that point, okay, well, as long as you don't press E at the wrong time,
you don't die.
You know,
you just don't die.
E is a fucking move that you're going to be using, so whatever. But regardless, as long as you don't hit E at the right time, then you won't pull up a big menu in the front of your face while you're trying to play. Oh, psych, never mind. You can also click on the chest. So if you're trying to M1, you're inevitably going to open up one of these goddamn chests in the middle of battle, which you can't get rid of, and the flip all button doesn't flip all the damn cards. So you're gonna sit your ass there, getting hit, trying to sift through all the fucking menus, and I just have to wonder, how did any of this get into the final game? Did nobody at any point while testing this video game say, maybe the flip all button should actually do what it says? Maybe we shouldn't throw a bunch of chests in people's faces constantly while they're trying to play. Maybe we shouldn't waste all of our players' times. But no, they didn't do any of that. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself. I know this video is gonna lack all structure. I just have so many thoughts and they all come at once. But I just wanna say, people had to pay an exorbitant amount of money to test this dumbass game, and clearly
So wait, does Eclipse know that this game generated over $1 million US before the game came out? Or because if he knows, I can't wait to see what he says about that.
none of them actually did their jobs. And you want to know why none of them did their jobs? Because when you have a bunch of idiot children pay to test the game, they're not actually testing the game. They're paying to play the fucking thing early. Because clearly none of them tested this game, because if they had, they would have found all this crap. And they would have found more stuff later on that I'm going to be talking.
Apparently the developers didn't really take criticism from testers to like they ignored most of the tester feedback, which I wouldn't be surprised. And that, or the other half of the testers were just like glazers. Usually when games have testers, the testers just blindly glaze the game. I know it was like that with GPO. The GPO testers, oh my gosh, the most brain dead people I've ever met in my life. Honestly, they're like all degenerates. So I mean, I'm not surprised if it's like that with this game as well.
Talking about, because there's no way if you had anyone that did any sort of real testing that they wouldn't have found it. But here we are, they didn't find it. So okay, whatever. You know what? You get the chests, it's a pain in the ass, the chests suck, everything in them's garbage.
No, future,
but
the GPO
what about
testers
the
are
actual
still
missions
like that till this
themselves
day,
in here?
so
Because at least the missions themselves for the progression will be fun, right? Right?
Actually,
no, it's not. Of course it's not. In Jujutsu Fruit, there are 5 total missions for the whole game. Guys, you know that you're programming the progression for like hours and hours at a time. 5 missions? Really? So whatever. Your choices are to fight a group of cursed spirits, fight a large cursed spirit, fight a sort of pseudo-boss sorcerer, fight several sorcerers at once, or capture a point. None of these are incredibly engaging, but let's go one at a time, shall we? So if you're fighting a group of cursed spirits, you can't lose because they do absolutely no damage and it's blox fruit. You basically run in a circle, you group all of the cursed spirits up, and then you hit them all like 6 times, they die, and then you're done. That's it. If you're fighting a boss cursed spirit, this is a little bit more engaging because they don't just get stun locked and there's one boss, and they usually have some attacks that are like large AoEs because, you know, they're sort of a boss character, except for the boss doesn't do any damage. So
very true.
You can't lose, so you basically just sit at the boss and press all the buttons on your keyboard until it dies. Oh, okay, oh, whatever. When it comes to fighting sorcerers, this would probably be interesting, except for that sort of segues us into the gameplay of the game, because this is the point where you're actually sort of going to be playing the game, and it's also the point where the PvE takes a fucking nosedive. Fighting against enemies in this game might as well be a game of memorization or, I don't know, playing fucking Osu. You know what? That's an insult to Osu. It's nothing like Osu.
Oh my gosh.
It's literally just memorizing a combination of buttons and pushing them in the correct order until you win.
You say he's not
Oh no, it is
nitpicking?
blox fruit. Fuck! No, but seriously,
I feel
there's
like
800 combo extenders.
I feel like nitpicking isn't necessarily a bad thing. He is nitpicking, let's be honest. But like, it's not bad nitpicking, it's valid nitpicking. Like, because he's right on the most part.
And I'm like not a high level at all. Look at this fight. Does this look like solid gameplay? I use a move that auto tracks and teleports me directly in front of the opponent and stuns them. And then I follow that up with M1s, a combo extender, M1s, a combo extender, M1s, a combo extender. I ragdoll them, use a move that they basically can't react to pull them straight back to me. And then by this point, some of my combo extenders are off cooldown again. More M1s, combo extender. Oh hey, they're dead. What the fuck is this? Why can I just completely stun lock the enemy into not being able to play? Is this what the people want? Is this the design we're looking for? Stun lock simulator where the enemy can't even fight back? They just sit there and get hit? Oh, but the testers surely should have caught this, right? Well, clearly fucking not.
Game's like that, no?
And it gets worse because when you go to fight multiple enemy sorcerers,
game, that is.
you might as well just be fighting 4 or 5 1v1s, because the second, and I mean the second, that you attack one of the sorcerers, every single other one gives up and stops playing. They just stand there and watch you beat the shit out of their friend until he's dead. Now I know some people are going to say, but Eclipse, if the enemy sorcerers all ganked you at the same time, then it wouldn't be fun because I couldn't get my big combo. Okay, well here's what I'm gonna say to you, little Timmy number 925. If the game is going to put in an area where there's multiple enemies, then shouldn't there be some sort of consequence for there being multiple enemies? No, no, you fight 5 1v1s and then you win.
Okay, this is probably the only point I don't really entirely agree with. Why would you want to fight 5 enemies at the same time, though? Because you'll just get put... You would be the one in an infinite combo if the enemies reacted, if they all fought you at the same time. So you kind of have to fight them 1v1. Shut up, you played Blox Fruits? I played Blox Fruits for like 2 hours. Like, what are we talking about? Chill out, bro.
But the worst one of all, it doesn't even come close. The absolute worst
so remove the mission from the game
in the whole game that just shows how far this game studio has fallen is the capture missions. This rivals maybe anything I've ever seen on the platform. And I'm not kidding.
So, Sage.
If you take a capture mission, when you go to the capture zone, there will be a bunch of cursed spirits there. And while you're there and continue to capture the zone, more cursed spirits will spawn in over time. So if you take too long to kill some of the other ones, eventually there will be more and more and more enemies for you to fight, and you could potentially get overwhelmed. Well, you could get potentially overwhelmed, but you won't. Here we go with lists again. Problem number 1 with the capture missions. They set several of these capture zones, which I guarantee you they set manually, in areas where you can jump on top of some sort of object that's high in the sky.
Eclipse,
whether it
bro,
be a
just
building
stand in front
or
of
a
all the
tree,
mobs.
if you
that
jump
nothing
up
hits
onto
they won't
something,
kill you, bro.
guess what happens? Well, nothing. Nothing happens. And the reason nothing happens is because we're playing fucking Blox Fruit, and these cursed spirits have Blox Fruit AI. They walk straight at you. They don't know how to get up any sort of anything. They have no ranged moves, and there's fucking nothing they can do if you jump on top of something. Look at this! Look at this! Is this a good game to you guys? Are you fucking kidding me? You can walk away, come back, and you win! Yay! When you complete the capture, all the enemies just drop fucking dead and die. That's awesome, man. Let's go! And I mean, for all intents and purposes, if it's in an area that doesn't have a building that you can stand on, you could just run in circles over and over again, and eventually you'll win too, because, you know, the enemies can't really catch you. But this isn't the worst thing. It's not the worst thing.
Oh, he does let them hit him.
If you want a showcasing of just how bad this game is, if you take a capture mission and you walk directly into the center of the mission and you walk away from your keyboard, you win. Just look. You can see it. I can't make it up. I can't make it up. This fucking game is so brain dead easy that even doing nothing and standing still in front of all of the enemies, they can't do enough damage to kill you. It's impossible. What the fuck? And this is where we see exactly what happened. We see exactly how this game happened. Because the last game that these guys worked on was Titan Warfare. That was a game that was incredibly difficult. Far too
Jujutsu
difficult
Blox.
for your average Roblox
I think we're gonna
player.
name this
and after
reaction.
that game, and after they figured out that,
Jujutsu
hey,
Blox.
we can't make
When I
hard
post it.
games that actually require skill, they chucked it all out the window and they said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's take the biggest knee jerk in the history of video games and go from making one of the most difficult skill-based games on the entire platform to a game where you literally don't have to play it in order to win. And I know people hate when I do this, and I will not apologize for it. This is Souls RNG. This is fucking Souls RNG, and you can't tell me it's not. It is the exact same amount of interactivity. You go to an area, and you can walk away, and when you come back, you win! Yay! Now, you may be
I'm
thinking...
not gonna lie, comparing this game to Souls RNG might be the biggest insult of 2024.
to yourself at some point, maybe, that so what exactly is the point of getting level ups, right? I just spent a whole lot of time talking about how ass the leveling system is and how much of a waste of time it is, but what are you leveling up for? Well, the first is obviously PvP. Oh, you can fight other players with the shitty combat system where the game basically plays itself. Let's go. But aside from that, you can also interact with the story quests, of which I think I did maybe 5 of them. in 2 hours. 2 hours. Oh God. Yeah. Would you believe me if I said that this game has egregious, annoying level locks every single 6 steps? If you guessed yes, well, of course it does. Of course it does. Why would it not have that? Yeah, so you would think in a game that's this easy, so easy that someone that got a lobotomy could probably win, that at the very least, you could go into some of the higher level quests under-leveled, so that way maybe it would be slightly challenging. No, you can't do that. Fuck you, get level locked, idiot. Grind and stand still and capture points for the next hour. You stupid idiot pay pig. And it's not like these story quests are anything like good or interesting. They're basically just the same as all of the other objectives.
Right now,
they're like,
bro?
oh hey, go to this place and fight some stuff. All right, you did that. Good job. There's some stuff going on, incredibly vague story things that don't really get you invested at all. And
Pay pig
yeah,
is crazy.
That's it. That's the story. Now, there are 2 other pillars of gameplay, I guess technically 3, that I haven't talked about yet, and those are the 2 things that I wanted to make sure I had unlocked before I made this video. Because I knew that if I just made a video getting to like level 15, people would be like, wait, Clips didn't play it enough, even though the progression is beyond awful and it just leaves a horrible impression in your mouth. But regardless, one of these is investigations, and these are effectively dungeons in a sense. You load into an instanced area just by yourself or with a group of people, and in this instanced area, you'll be given a set of objectives, one after another, that you need to complete, and the faster and better you do it, the more rewards you get. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it runs into every single other pitfall that the game has had up until this point. Things like, oh, I don't know, the fact that you literally can't lose, or the fact that the
trying
game
to jump
is just
inside
not
the
that engaging,
dash,
and fighting against enemies that basically don't fight back is not very much fun. But that's pretty much the gist of it. There's not much to say about the investigations because, well, there isn't much here to say about them. The other pillar of gameplay is a crime against humanity, and that's the bosses. This is the best possible showcase of how stupid and shit this game is. It really, really is. So you would think, probably going into a boss fight, that if you fought against the boss, you would need to pay attention to what they were doing, think about what they're doing, and react accordingly, right? Because that's what a boss fight is. Think like, I don't know, Arcane Odyssey. That had some pretty killer, very difficult boss fights, especially if you did them by yourself. Well, if you thought that, you're a fucking idiot. What the hell are you still doing here? You're probably playing this game right now. Go back to playing this game. You're hopeless. But for the rest of you,
he's actually insulting us as we're watching this. You know that, right?
And I proved it, because in the first boss fight of the game, do you know what I did just to prove my point? I stood perfectly still, directly on top of the boss. I never once attempted to dodge a single one of his attacks, and I won without even trying. I just pushed every single button on my keyboard over and over and over again, and I win! Yeah, I did it! Am I good yet? No, I'm not good, because that wasn't skilled gameplay. That wasn't interesting gameplay. That was literally me bashing my head into a brick wall, and it works! Try that in real life. Go to a brick wall, bash your head into it, and let me know what happens. Because I can guarantee you that it's not gonna break the brick wall down. But in this game, that's exactly what it does. And that's it. That's the game. The game is you teleport and Fortnite drop on brain dead objectives that barely do anything. You go into dungeons.
Anybody want to try smashing their head into a brick wall? Don't do it, please don't do it.
With brain dead enemies that basically can't fight back and obliterate them, and you fight in boss fights against bosses that can't do enough damage to kill you, to the point where you can stand in front of them the entire time, mash all of the buttons, and you win. But the final pillar of gameplay is the one that I didn't talk about, and it's the one that people are gonna complain about, and I don't fucking care, and that's PvP. And I'm not going to talk about PvP because, number one, I'm not getting to level 240 in order to play it. And I know, oh, you can play at lower levels. Yeah, and get obliterated by people at level 240. Thanks, but no thanks. But the real problem is that the PvP in this game is fucking pay to win. Yeah.
See, I said that on the first stream, bro. Like, if you pay to win, PvP is unfair. Because you can get cursed tools through item notifier. You can get the best curse tools in the game through item notifier. You can get domain shards through item notifier. You can get cursed hand through item notifier. Yeah, you can get those through grinding the game, but there are a lot of people who are max level right now that don't have domain shards and that don't have curse tools. So literally, the PvP in this game is pay to win completely. Like, completely. It literally separates. Innates are pay to win too. Innates are pay to win too. But there's a lot of codes, so that one's a little bit different. But literally, this game is pay to win. You can't have a PvP scene and lock a lot of things behind pay to win.
It's pay to win. Are you kidding me? So you remember all the way back when we were talking about the whole innate talents thing and how you can have multiple different slots and you start off with 2? Well, if you want any more than 2, then you need to pay up, idiot. Now, having more slots means that you can slot in different moves from different talents into your skill tree for sorcerer moves. As you can probably imagine, objectively having more options than other people is pay to win. There's no way around it. It's just flat out pay to win. You can do things that other people cannot because you paid money in combat. That's pay to win. I've heard rumblings that in the official PvP game modes, you can't use multiple of the same thing. I don't know if that's true or not. And frankly, it doesn't matter because you can PvP against people in the overworld and pay to win. No way around it. And I will not interact with this game when you can just blatantly pay to win.
GG, bro.
Oh, but Eclipse, for the higher level sorcery things, you have so many abilities that you can't fit all of the things on there. I don't fucking care. You can do things that other people can't. That's pay to win. Stop being an apologist for this shitty ass game. And that's it. That's it. I talked on too long. This was too much. This game is an embarrassment, and it's going to work. It's going to get a ton of players. It's going to continue to get a ton of players because it appeals to exactly what the Roblox platform appeals to. The people behind it knew exactly what they were doing, and by the way, people behind this, I hope you see this. Fuck you. I seriously mean that.
Damn.
Fuck you. How dare you?
Has Eclipse ever been this mad over a game before? I don't think so.
Make a good game and then
Christmas,
follow it up
Happy New
with
Year's
this
Eve,
slop
Happy New Year's
trash.
Eve, family.
You just talent gone to waste. That's what this is. Anyways, we're done. I can't with this anymore.
Souls RNG.
We're done. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
I didn't finish this Souls RNG video because I don't care for Souls RNG. Wait, there's more. F the members.
Man, am I good at this game. Level 60.
I don't think he got this mad over type soul though.
I'm the best at this game. No one gets better than me. It's impossible. How could you possibly be better than me at this game? You know what? I gotta use the bathroom.
Wanna know what's even crazier?
I'll win anyway. So
he got to level 60 with no ×2 EXP.
Oh,
And no
they might get me.
Dorakis. Doraki.
They might get me.
Doraki?
Oh, they didn't get me.
Yeah, Doraki.
Well, you know, they tried their best. That one was a close one. I think I would have been sweating if I was actually here. Ooh, capture a point, huh? Oh, I can already tell this one's gonna be a hard one. Oh no!
Skulls. A lot of people hate the skulls.
I will be going up here now.
He's actually getting less EXP from doing this.
To the playtesters of this game, I just want you to know how good of a job you did. Like the people, to those of you who paid money in order to do the developers' jobs for them, fantastic job. I mean, I couldn't have done it better myself. If I can just press all of my buttons in succession and win. Damn, I'm good at this game. I can't believe you were able to defeat it. I can't believe it either. That was crazy. Oh, I would have been dead. Yep, that's true. Oh, I would have no chance against that guy. Oh, that was horrifying. I came so close to dying. I don't know what I would have done. This is like the worst knee jerk I've ever seen in the history of knee jerks. This is horrible.
It's like depressingly horrible. And people are gonna eat this shit up. I know they will. So
to be honest, like I
accomplished
said,
on
devs
their
ignored
end.
the testers
stuff.
that were complaining,
level
and the
up
other
yet?
half were glazing. Yeah,
I know it's gonna happen.
it'd be like that.
Not quite. I fucking knew it. Oh, all right. Yep, that's a wrap.
That is that me? OMG. That what the heck? Okay, let's chill out, fool. I'm not gonna lie, that is a bit brazy. That is crazy. Like, obviously, we knew that Jujutsu Infinite would come out in this state. Well, at least I knew, because the game hadn't changed since. But like, honestly, I still believe that Jujutsu Infinite is the best we've gotten this year. If you exclude Type Soul's re-release, that doesn't really count. I still honestly think this is the best we've gotten this year. Like, genuinely. Because we haven't gotten anything this year. And the things we have gotten this year have all been trash. Like, literally. So, Anime Adventures, I'm not counting that. We're not counting. Anime Adventures just came out. I'm pretty sure they came out at the same time, if not Jujutsu Infinite came out before. But Anime Adventures is a tower defense game. I don't play tower defense games, so I don't care. Sorcery's better in my opinion. Sorcery doesn't actually have content though. Like, Sorcery actually doesn't have any content. Like, actually. Best this year, but it's not good. Type B. Try it out on stream. Try what out on stream? Jujutsu Infinite? Or Anime Adventures? I was banned in the game when I wrote in the Discord channel. That's tough, bro. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Sorcery doesn't actually have any content, but Sorcery's combat system is way better, in my opinion. You'd rather queue up for League of Legends again? You should. Most of the issues of the game are solvable with future updates. I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like for them to change the game's progression system, that's not a future update solution. That's a revamp solution, high key. But I don't think the devs would do that. I feel like the devs didn't change. Okay, so from before, when the game was on tester sales or whatever the case may be, the game still had missions. The mission board looked a little bit different, but the game still had missions. So from then until now, the only thing that's changed about missions is the fact that the UI change, like the layout change of how the missions is, and the way the mission board actually looks. Now it highlights green. Before it was like a teal blue. Like, nothing's actually changed about the game, other than the fact that they added the story progression, which doesn't really change anything to a sense. The main form of progression is still missions, and then obviously you have the bosses now as well, which is actually pretty good. And you have investigations. So I mean, I don't know. Again, once you get max level in Jujutsu Infinite, again, there's not too much to do other than grind out your gear, because there's no way you get max level and you have all the gear you need. That's impossible. It's literally impossible. So you grind out your gear, and once you have all the gear you need, I guess you PvP once or twice until you figure out the game's PvP scene's a little bit scuffed, and you just don't play again. Simple as that.